So I usually do a Festival of the Lost video every year, and most of them have been the same thing, asking for the event to be different. And this year, it's finally different. We go to the moon this year for Haunted Altars of Sorrow. It is a 6-man version of the activity that has been in the game since 2019. And while a lot of people may have an issue with it being an older activity, I think it's actually fine, right? We all wanted something new, and it does throw in the wrinkle of having onslaught mechanics in it. I do wish it was a little bit longer and had maybe a little bit more of a difficulty scaling, although the lag when it first came out was pretty difficult to manage anyway, because you would just see enemies teleport and then be dead without seeing what killed you or having time to react. It was very interesting. Not necessarily what I mean when I say like some players want more difficulty in activities. That's definitely artificial difficulty, but overall it's pretty good for what it's supposed to be, which is something to do over the span of 3 weeks. There's also the Red Rumble game mode, which lets you go in to a Rumble match, but instead of having to solo queue into it, you can queue into it with friends and essentially farm each other if you want. So that's cool, I guess, but PvP is really just not it in this game, and it hasn't been for a while. So I'm mainly going to stick to Haunted Altars in this video. Another thing that I've critiqued outside of the fact that it's been the haunted sectors for years. Before that, we obviously had the Haunted Forest, which of course got sunset with Mercury. I don't really think that was all that great either. I would definitely say that Haunted Altars is the best game mode Festival of the Lost has had. I hope the Dawning finally gets Sparrow Racing back. I mean, I doubt it's going to happen, but hey, we all thought that Festival of the Lost would stay the same forever, and it finally changed. We all thought that event passes would never go away, and they finally have. And that's something that I want to get into as well, is that you don't have to buy event passes anymore to get the cosmetics. There's a free ship in the reward track, a free shader, as well as a sparrow, although I really wish they started introducing more skimmers into the game, because who is using a sparrow at this point in the game anymore? I don't really think anyone is. There's a free ghost that is a slasher shell. It has ghost face on it. I feel like that would usually be in the Eververse store. I mean, I made a video talking about the Bright Dust changes coming in Renegades. Go check that out if you're curious about any of that. But, you know, I asked in that video to see more stuff that you can earn in-game that is either of Eververse quality or is already in the Eververse store, but let's say it's been there forever. Just put it out there, right? And let it be purchasable for Bright Dust. So I can't really be too upset when I see cosmetics in a free event pass that could have been in the Eververse store, right? Like it's a small win. It's not anything huge, but little things add up, and the more we see this happen, I think the better the game will be in the future. Now listen, obviously no one's logging on just to get the ghost-faced ghost shell, right? Like, what? But again, it's just a little thing. The little things matter. Trust me, they do. One thing I will harp on as far as Haunted Altars goes is it gets very, very stale very quickly, because it's short, for one, like I mentioned earlier, and to me, it doesn't really feel like it gets to a fun point until you're on the final wave, and at that point, it's pretty much done. Like there's not much else to do. You go kill the boss, but the boss falls over like a bag of wet noodles, and you're done. You get your loot and you head out. And I'm gonna make a comparison here. Not that this is 100% fair, but I do think there is some relevance here. We look at Marvel Zombies over on Marvel Rivals, and although I do hate the scaling in that just a little bit, it scales really fast. If you've been playing that, the difficulty difference between Nightmare 3 and Nightmare 4, it is stark, right? It's like the difference between normal and GM, or normal and ultimate in Destiny. But the depth of Marvel Zombies in that game is insane. There are so many different levels to the game mode. There's build crafting in the game mode. Mind you, Marvel Rivals is a primarily PvP game, and they just released an entire PvE event for Halloween, and it's amazing. Not only that, it's cool to have some crossover between the MCU and Rivals. It kind of has that already, but this is a more direct way, as it's directly correlating with a show, as opposed to, oh, you know, here's a costume from MCU movie number 12. So I really think stuff like that is awesome. I would love it if Destiny had a TV show or a movie franchise, but of course Bungie's stock is down in the dumps right now, so the reality of that happening is it's not happening, at least not right now. And like I said, it's a little unfair. NetEase is a much larger company in terms of employees, and that allows them to actually maintain both and be able to do both pretty well. And you know, PvP is still the main focus, even though EOM agents exist, and they're, you know, I'm an EOM believer, trust me, but I got a ton of enjoyment out of doing Marvel Zombies, and I've definitely played that a lot more than Festival of Lost, which is why I do wish there were harder versions or longer versions, like a horde mode-esque to Haunted Altars. I mean, like, come on, it's a Halloween event. You gotta channel the zombie energy, right? It makes so much sense. But you know, it's still better than the same event over and over again. And here's the thing: this is something you can build on if you're Bungie, right? Next year you can add more waves. You can maybe add the ability for it to rotate daily and be different enemies every day instead of the same 3 enemy types on each wave, or have it be completely randomized. There are a lot of things they can do with this event down the line, and I think it's pretty exciting, but it's still not the best it could be. Is it different? Yeah, and that's something I wanted, so I'll take it. Stuff is free stuff is cool, and I like that you have 3 weeks to do it. The FOMO isn't really hitting as much as it usually does, and the fact that there's only one awesome gun to get from the activity is nice. That of course being the kinetic SMG. You know, you want to look for kinetic tremors, attrition orbs, the 2 new perks. One's ancillary ordnance, and I forget what the other one is. It does like a concussion grenade thing. All those perks are pretty good. And it's a solid gun, but there's a strand bow. We have so many of those now for some reason. This one I think has some good perks on it, but are you ever going to use it? Probably not. And the same thing probably goes for the Arcane Embrace, which is a dual burst shotgun, heavy burst shotgun. Although it does have a new damage perk on it, and this perk is also on the bow. It's called Aggregate Charge. I think this is on some of the Ashen Iron weapons as well, but the perk is this weapon deals more damage for each elemental debuff applied to the target. Damage bonus is increased. The wording on these perks is so confusing, but I assume the more debuffs you have, the better, which most of the time you don't want to stack debuffs, because they cancel each other out, or you know, whatever is the highest is going to cancel it out. But I guess in this case maybe that works. I'm sure the community is doing testing, or has done testing on it, to see how it actually works, because again, the wording is horrible. I would love to speak to the person who writes the descriptions on some of this stuff because it's just, I need to understand the thought process. But look for that perk in the 4th slot, and then, you know, Reconstruction or 4th time's a charm, and you're good to go. But yeah, I think it's a cool event. It's not the greatest event Destiny's ever had, but Festival of the Lost is the best it's ever been. Just sucks that it comes at a time where the game is the worst it's ever been in a pretty long time. But I'm still having fun, and sue me, call me a shill, whatever you want. But that's it for me on this. If you enjoyed hearing me ramble, don't forget to subscribe and or like the video. And well, see ya.